Well, it resorted to a good old-fashioned deforming the cap. Try and get it out like that. That screw trick works in the rubber seals, but those metal surrounded ones won't flex at all, I suppose, so it wasn't going to come. After I bent the seal or warped the seal like that, now I've got much more room to hit it with a chisel. Some light tapping to get it to come out now. Suppose it's out. Yep. Yeah. You don't want to damage any of the housings when you do things like this, so you don't want to be scratching there at all, the important faces. Just get this bush, finish getting this bush out now, and I can wash everything up, ready to put all the new parts in. The bush didn't have any quarrel with me, it came straight out, no bother. It's just the seal holding it back. As I say, be patient, because if you damage these faces or surfaces where bushes and seals sit on, it'll change the tolerance of the seals. It's enough to push them in a little bit. Not visible, but it'll be clamping on the shaft, and you might get overheating problems. You might get lucky and it might wear out, but you might be unlucky, it might swell up, get really hot, and weld itself onto the shaft as well, so you wouldn't be able to pull the shaft off it easily, or this wouldn't come off the tractor, because this would be welded to the shaft through the bush. It won't be welded, but it would be jammed in there pretty good. It has to be pretty unlucky to have that happen though, but it's a possibility. Just wait for this shower to pass now, and then we can get the Reliant back together. So we got them all clean again now. They're covered in sandblasting dust. I think I'll just put the airline on them, get the water off. I'll just dab them with a rag. Probably dab them with a rag. Just finished cleaning these now, these little shims. The shims do have a little bit of wear on them, but they're still original steel on them. They've still got the machining marks on there, so these things are still within tolerance. These gears are alright either way around. So I might turn them around to put non-worn sides with non-worn sides. There'll be areas where the tolerances will be too small in the wrong places, so it'll take it back to standard setting. This side here will have metal unworn on it in a different position to metal that's worn on the same side that was there. So, well, that hasn't got anywhere on it. Just looks at the shim. I'll put this one the same way around as it used to be then. That one lives there. Got all these needle rollers in now. I did a dry assembly on them. I usually like to put grease on things like this when I put them together, but I've done them dry. I'll turn them like that in a minute and pour just a little bit, a light skimming of oil in them. Don't want to get oil on here. I did have some grease with me, but I got myself a tube of red lithium. It's pretty good for assembly, or EP2, anything like that really. I'm not used to this camera, I'm holding it a bit too close, sorry. Just clean these up now and whack them back on the top there. I'll put oil in these first before I put them back, or I won't be able to get any oil in them. You can hear. It's nice and quiet now. Let's turn it a little bit just so that the oil runs through the complete bearing, so they're not dry now, and the shim behind isn't dry either. It wouldn't take long for them to get oil in the hub anyway, just drive the tractor really slow for about 10 meters. This thing would walk around quite a bit through the oil, and if you're going slowly and don't put it in 4-wheel drive, there's no tension on the needles. I couldn't resist putting grease on it. I'd put some grease on. I like to have bearings well lubricated, but I don't like oil and grease on my hands everywhere when I'm trying to assemble things. When you want these faces dry and clean, got all the inward shims back in place and put the plate back on there and tighten them bolts up. And well, they don't look like they've had Loctite on them. They should have Loctite on them. I've filled the holes up with oil now. So the gear oil out of the holes there now, I'll just blow some brake cleaner in the holes just to clean them out, let them dry off, and I'll put these little bolts in with Loctite. I don't know how much torque's supposed to be on these. They're quite a strong little bolt. I'll do them up to about 60, 70, 60. Yeah, I'll do them 60. Thread lock on all three there now. Just gonna see how she goes at 65. No, feels a bit much. Do a 50. Nah. Try 45. Pretty tight to 45 there. I'll do them to 50. Feels pretty good on 45, so there you go. A little bit extra on the 50 there. It's a fine thread, so 50 is pretty tight on them. Sometimes what I do is do that and then see how they are to undo. Oh yeah, it's about how they were. I'll have a look in the manual in a minute just to see how much they're supposed to be. I should have the manual with me to do the job, but oh, it's on the shelf here, I think. It says here, remove planet gear, retaining screws and washers, 8, figure 13. So that's it there, the retainer and the screws, whichever ones they are there in the photo. And remove planet gears and bearings. What was I? Mark the planet gears and shafts, then remove the planet gears and bearings. So they do tell you to put them back in the same place as you took them off, as I was saying earlier on in the video. And the thrust washers separate with their respective planet gears. That's what we've done. They can be reinstalled as a set in the same location. That's what I was saying. I was finding it strange that you could get the needle rollers new for it. They're so fussy about putting things back where they came from. But yet you can buy a pack of needles for them. It says nothing here about them. It says mounting cap screws. Those are these for holding, I take it they're holding this gear on this, but this is Carraro axle, not this axle, so it doesn't mean much. The manual's usually quite good, but it wasn't of much use to me then. I'll do them a little bit tighter, but I was quite happy with the 50, to be honest. I'll do them to 55. They'll be pretty good then. I went up 5 at a time. They're at 70 now, so they're pretty good. Tight now. I don't know if I can open them with this. No, they're pretty tight. I can open them with that. They're a pretty good tension there. Should we go 80? Is a nicer figure. There you go. They don't feel like they want to strip the thread, but they're an important an integral part not to come loose. They're pretty good there, they feel good. There you go. Bearing's still spinning nice. I'll put it back flat on its back now so the oil doesn't leak out over the sealing surface. I'll put some bearings and stuff in these now.